Okay, welcome back everybody. It's British Championships 2018. It is of course our final day and we're on to game 13, which is Nottingham Roller Derby coming up against Wiltshire Roller Derby. And the lovely Beatrix, and joining me on the stream right now is the gorgeous Brom.
Oh, that's ever so kind of you.
There's no announcer cam, so I feel like I can say whatever I like about my co-announcer.
And we are joined by wonderful producer Mimey as well, who is going to be making us sound incredibly intelligent, wearing a dapper bow tie.
Super dapper. Okay, we're going to just run through these rosters real quick with you. I'm going to take Nottingham, if that's okay, Bear. Nottingham Roller Girls are playing in green. We've got 000, Gem Arg, number 12, Alf, 13, Blocking J, 152, Fran Solo, 16, Tornado, 1837, Pucker Up, 2, Dandra, 21, Rocks and Roll, 300, Greek Frightening, 42, The Aikens Riot, 58, Buckland, 72, Natastrophe, and 911, Crash Call.
And Nottingham Roller Derby will be playing in green. In black, we're going to see Wiltshire Roller Derby, and they are 0-0, Lou Renegades, 1-3, Ginge, 1-9, B Brutal, 2-2, Skeletor, 2-4-9, Serenity Shepherd, 2-8, Templeman, 4, Lady T, 4-4, Chloe, 5, Haley, 5-8, Diamond Dodge, 7-02, Jessica Stabbit, 7-8, Linzane, and that is Wiltshire Roller Derby in this Tier 3 WFTDA side, 3rd, 4th place game.
So no medals in this game, or medals?
Medals, we're going to see a bronze medal.
We're playing for metal, everybody.
It's exciting times.
Very exciting. We're going to go through the officials roster at some point during the game, so do keep your ears open for that, along with our witty commentary.
Are you promise? Is that a guarantee? You promise wit?
Do I promise wit? Yeah, sure, why not?
Great.
It's Sunday afternoon, I'm going to go for it. I'm feeling good.
So thank you for joining us in a slightly drizzly Stoke-on-Trent on this lovely Sunday afternoon. Of course, today is the day that we are going to break some British Roller Derby history with BBC Sports streaming British Champs for the first time. So we're incredibly excited to have the crew here with us. That will start in about half an hour-ish.
So
casually, about half an hour, and that will be the Tier 3 MRDA final game, 14.
Exciting stuff, but right now we're going to dance into some really exciting action with the Nottingham versus Wiltshire game. Lining up for Nottingham, we have number 16 on the radar wheels, Jammer Line, that's Tornado. And it is number 58 for Wiltshire, that's Diamond Dodge. Diamond Dodge pushing forward, knocked down though with that 2-wall up front from Nottingham. Forced to reset behind the wall, and really opportunity for Nottingham now to grab lead, which they do. Tornado, your lead jammer.
Diamond Dodge in the meantime caught up on track, turn 2 at the moment, comes to the front of the pack, has removed the star from her helmet, gets through on the initial pass as Nottingham lose 2 of their blockers to the penalty box.
And Tornado, after that heavy hit, calls off the jam. 1 point picked up, 2 points picked up, sorry, for Nottingham. No points on the board for Wiltshire.
So Nottingham getting the first lead of the game, the first points drawn.
And lining up now, we have number 58, Buckland for Nottingham in the green, and 78, Linzane for Wiltshire in the black. Linzane moves to the inside, shut down though by number 2, Dandra. And Buckland pushing forward, 1 left to pass, number 22, Skeletor. Pack bridging out now as Lady T also in attendance. But it is Nottingham once again picking up lead and choosing to call off the jam, Brom, as there wasn't a lot of separation between those two jammers.
No, less than 5 feet between the two of them. They were side by side coming out of the front of the pack, so Very short jam as we go into the third of the game, and we're seeing lining up Jessica Stabbit for Wiltshire and 000 Gem R. Yesterday, when Wiltshire were playing, they used a very clear 3-jam rotation. Jessica Stabbit was not part of that rotation yesterday.
Interesting.
So stepping up, trying something a little bit different, working in their favour as she picks up lead.
So maybe saving legs for today. Gem Arg, though, hot on her wheels here as both jammers come into the pack. Not enough separation to feel comfortable for Jessica Stabbit, and so jam is called. 0-0 jam. Brom, we've got time to play with. We've got 27 minutes on the clock. However, Wiltshire just need to get off the starting blocks and get some points.
They do. I mean, coming into the fourth jam without having picked anything up, it's a slow start, but like you said, we've got 27 minutes. It's a very calm start to the game as well. So at the moment, you're seeing on the line Diamond Dodge for Wiltshire going up against number 16 Tornado.
Her Tornado started off this game with a lead and continues on that lead jammer streak, picking it up for Nottingham.
Diamond Dodge earlier picking up best jammer for the team when they played against
somebody else.
My apologies.
Wiltshire now off at the starting blocks. 2 points picked up for them in that last jam, but 3 points for Nottingham. So we're at a 5-2, and I know it's early days, but we're at such low numbers. I'm quite surprised. All the games that I've done this weekend, we've already been kind of creeping up one side or the other into the double digits by now.
Yeah, with 4 minutes gone, we've only seen 7 points scored. Quite slow start, but Lynn Zane is going to look to try and change that for Wiltshire. Buckland is going to pick up that mantle for Nottingham.
Well, Lynn Zane pushing forward, 2 up front from Nottingham, holding her at bay. Tries once again, approaches the pack, but a brace 3 wall being formed in between turns 1 and 2, and that gives Buckland opportunity to pull out, pick up lead for Nottingham.
Lynn Zane, in the meantime, is recycled to the end of turn 1, has removed the helmet cover from her helmet and is held in hand, but still fighting at the back. An attempted star pass. Not quite sure if that's been successful, trying to get eyes on that. It has now taken place. Be Brutal receiving the star and completes the initial.
Meantime, though, Buckland already through on a scoring pass. 5 points scored. Comes in once again. Comes up against some resistance, though, and calls off the jam. So a 6-point jam for Nottingham. No points available for Wiltshire. 11 plays 2, 24 minutes, 50 odd seconds to go of this first half. And lining up for Wiltshire, it's 7-0-2 Jessica Stabbit and 0-0-0 Gem Arg for Nottingham. Familiar pairing here. Jessica Stabbit takes the inside line, finds the door closed though. Gem Arg takes the outside, crowded, and Jessica Stabbit actually your lead jammer for Wiltshire.
But we've got that jammer chase down again that we saw in jams 2 and 3. So for the third time this game, we're seeing a pointless jam.
Yeah, Jessica Stabbit calling it off because, as you say, there's not that separation happening between the two jammers. Evenly matched teams, I feel, on defence, which is making the job a little bit harder for these jammers as both of them are able to spring free of the pack at pretty much the same time. It's been neck and neck quite a few times with the jammer coming out of that pack. Right now, though, lining up on the radar wheels jam line, it's number 16 Tornado for Nottingham.
And that's Diamond Dodge for Wiltshire, and Tornado takes advantage of a little bit of offence that did cause a penalty, but gets through to pick up lead.
Diamond Dodge still working away, a full lap behind here as Tornado comes into the back of that wall, forced to reset, gets on through on the inside though and calls off the jam. So far we've seen a mirroring of the jammers. I've just been told by our excellent producer, Dapper Mimey, We've seen 16:58, 58:78, 0-0 and 7-0-2. And just looking, we have 78 and 58 lining up right now.
So a direct matchup. We are seeing like-for-like approaches from both benches right now as Lynn Zane and Buckland come straight off the jam line, the Radar Wiltshire jam line, and that is Buckland that picks up lead for Nottingham.
Super quick off the mark there for Buckland. She saw the space and absolutely committed to it. She meant she was able to get through with very little resistance put up from the opposing team. Coming in on the scoring pass now, finds herself crowded into turn 2, and a huge takedown of Wiltshire's jammer means there's a call off as all the bodies hit the track in turn 2. All of them from.
A modest 3 points, holding Wiltshire to 0.
I feel like this is a modest game all over. 18 points for Nottingham so far, 2 for Wiltshire. We're lining up once again. It's 0-0-0. Gemag up against 7-0-2. That's Jessica Stabbit.
Yeah, and we've seen a 75% lead ratio for Nottingham so far this game in the first 8 jams.
Jessica Stabbit, though, trying to change those numbers. Picks up lead for Wiltshire. Gemag removing the start is in the mix.
Comes in for that scoring pass, gets through Nottingham's wall of green. Last line of defence is number 72, Catastrophe, gets past and picks up the full 5 in the sky.
Star pass in progress from Nottingham. However, penalty, cut track penalty assessed, so this will now be a power jam in favour of Wiltshire.
A nice opportunity for them to try and close that points, but they're going to ice the jammer in the box and go for that power jam start going into the 10th jam of the first period.
10 points picked up by Wiltshire though in that last period of play, takes their score up to 12, and Nottingham sitting on 18. 21 minutes left of this first half.
So this first power jam is going to disrupt those even matchups as well, as Diamond Dodge steps up as the sole jammer on the track for Wiltshire in black. Diamond Dodge tries to find the space on the inside, but is recycled by number 300, Greek Frightening.
Diamond Dodge approaching once again in between turns 1 and 2 now, takes it easy. Wiltshire just dropping back, giving the space. Diamond Dodge slowly working her way through this pack. Picks up lead but takes a late hit from number 42. That's the Aikins Riot. But great penalty kill by Nottingham as their jammer is back on track and in play. Yeah. Diamond Dodge coming in on that scoring pass, though, scooches up the inside line. Picks up points for Wiltshire.
Yeah, and a successful star pass for Nottingham. Gemma hands that mantle over to Demandria.
Wiltshire's jammer coming in on another scoring pass, calls off the jam. So I think that's going to even up the score here as a further 2 points picked up. Yep, 18 apiece.
Oh, so a nice even playing field, and I wouldn't expect much less of a close call game in this bronze medal game in Tier 3 WFTDA side of the British champs. I
agree. 19 minutes to go of this first half. And as you say, you know, the scores are evening up, and I really feel like the defence and offence work of these two teams is very evenly matched. Number 76 is Lynn Zane, picks up lead for Wiltshire. Perhaps this power jam has given them the momentum required to pull away from Nottingham.
As Tornado completes the initial pass, Lynn Zane finds some space on the inside, but the last line of defence knocks her to the inside just as Tornado comes in on the scoring pass, but denies them the opportunity to add any more to the score.
Great work by number 72, Catastrophe, for Nottingham, who was able to just put that hit in and really force the call off. So Wiltshire now with those three consecutive leads has just helped them pull slightly away. 21 plays 18. Lining up, we have number 58 for Nottingham in the green. That's Buckland. And Jessica Stabbit for Wiltshire.
And Jessica Stabs It is your active lead, while Buckland is having a bit of a tougher time as the pack moves into turn 1. She tries to find some space on the outside and completes the initial.
Jessica Stabit just sneaking through now backwards to grab those points. Calls off the jam. 4 full points allocated.
As Wiltshire call a timeout. And actually, one thing I've just observed, incredibly calm gameplay from both sides.
Yes, yes. It's like they've all got plans and they're going to stick to it. Now, of course, team timeout after we've just had 4 consecutive leads from Wiltshire. Part of me questions the thought process behind that.
The break in momentum could affect things for them, or it could very much be strategic to look at what was going right for them in those 4 gems as opposed to in the first 4, and go, we need to do more of that, and we need to analyse that piece of work and implement that as we carry on through the game.
Totally agree. However, it also gives opportunity for Nottingham to do the same.
Yes, it does.
And Wiltshire have really fought here to match Nottingham and then increase that lead. They're sitting at 25-18 right now, and I just feel like maybe they could have just made that a bit more of a comfortable space before calling that timeout and using it. And we are fairly early into the game. It's 17 and a half minutes just over of this first half to go, so that timeout's been used here. Was that the best time? We'll find out as Gemag takes the start for Nottingham, and that is Diamond Dodge for Wiltshire.
And Gemar responds to that timeout that was called by Wiltshire by saying it's our turn to start this streak of leads.
Diamond Dodge with the huge hit out there. That was from Greek Frightening, number 300. Absolutely floored Diamond Dodge. And once again, just marking her at the back of this pack, not allowing any opportunity, whilst Gemag pushes on through on the scoring pass to pick up points for Nottingham.
Greek Frightening is being unrelentless with Diamond Dodge right now, and it's all one-on-one. Diamond Dodge has taken the opportunity for a star pass with the pivot being close, or Be Brutal taking the cover.
But Gemag already working through, dodging hits left, right and centre, grabs the points and calls off the jam.
Greek Frightening consistently throughout British Champs playoffs has been an incredibly strong player. Obviously Team Greece at the World Cup this year as well. Obviously, I think playing some of those international teams has certainly given Greek Frightening a bit more knowledge to bring to the track, and holding on to Diamond Dodge on her own for nearly 40 seconds. Incredible work.
It was beautiful marking. 78 for Wiltshire. It's Lindsay with the star.
And Tornado, who is breaking through, gets another lead in a row for Nottingham.
So Nottingham really upping the ante now as we go into the second half of the first half, if that makes sense.
It does.
It did to me.
It does to me too.
Tornado knocked out, recycled back, forced to run the gauntlet once again. But Nottingham with a brilliant sweep, spring their jammer free, help secure a further 5 points and deny Wiltshire opportunity of any.
And so they've crept out and they've taken that lead change in the last jam as well. So we're gonna, I think we might see this a few more times yet.
Bit of chopping and changing. 4 points takes the score to 31 for Nottingham, 25 for Wiltshire. Lining up, we have 702 Jessica Stabit for Wiltshire and number 58 Buckland for Nottingham.
Jessica Stabit taking on the front of the pack, takes down some of the Nottingham blockers, gets lead.
A really great push and run technique to just disrupt that front wall from Nottingham. Jessica Stabit comes in now, not really scrubbing off the pace as this pack moves into turn 2. Then Jessica Stabit straight down that straight away. 5 points on the board for Wiltshire. Not going to allow Nottingham to grab that lead and keep it easily. And Nottingham unable to sit comfortably, but we're seeing a jammer penalty for Nottingham, which means this is a power jam right now for Wiltshire.
And again, we've seen Jessica Stabbit do this before, deciding to call off the jam and ice the jammer in the box and take advantage of the power jam start. Also, Jessica Stabbit, 100% lead so far.
Great stats. Great stats to start with. So Buckland is in the penalty box. That was a low block penalty assessed. Official timeout has been called. We're just having the medics just have a quick check over.
Other than the power jam start, full complement of blockers for both teams on the track.
And while we have got this timeout, it's a great opportunity to just go through our officials for this game. Our officials: Pretty Miffed, Errington, X-Ray Ted, Cyborg, Julius Seizure, Quad Damage, Big Whoop, Says Who, Ref Metal, Duke Special, Bomb Weasley, Mischief, All Askew, Hannah, Robert John Lawrence, She-Wolf, The Incredible Bulk, Steph Metal, Lucifer and Judge Gled.
A massive thank you to them. And also to our British Champs partners as well, Events Medical Services, who have kept the show on the road, kept us safe, kept us looked after throughout the British Champs Playoffs 2018.
You are, of course, watching the stream thanks to Derby Duck. This is the Just One Body track. We do have other games starting on the Roller Derby City track in about 11 minutes time, but you don't want to join them. We'll give you some updates from that game.
Yeah, exactly. Just stay with us. You'll have far more fun. We promise.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we do.
yeah, do we?
I'm feeling a bit hesitant about promising things to people today. It's a Sunday. Double Threat Skates, of course, are also one of our main sponsors for this weekend. They're not sponsoring anything in particular, Brom.
But they're just awesome.
Sponsoring.
They're just awesome. In fact, they've got a pop-up store coming up in Leeds soon. So go check them out on the socials. So that way you don't have to trek all the way down to London to go and visit Double Threat Skates. You can actually try before you buy, go and visit them in Leeds.
Oh, that's nice.
That's lovely.
That was my best Leeds accent.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Okay, we're coming to the end of that timeout. And as we said, it is a power jam start for Wiltshire. Number 58, Diamond Dodge with the star. Pushes forward, gets a quick exit out of that pack. As Nottingham just leave the outside line slightly open. And you don't need a lot of space for somebody like Diamond Dodge to get through.
Very nimble jammer, comes in for that scoring pass. The pace of the pack really picks up as the rush offence meant that Nottingham decided to just try and pull away from it, but the speed worked to Diamond Dodge's advantage.
Yeah, Wiltshire had a beautiful sweep going on. This time they choose to hold at the back of this pack as Gemag is released from the penalty box. Diamond Dodge on her own up front takes a hit from number 42, the Aikins Riot. The reset continues going and picks up those points for Wiltshire. Gemag on this initial, trying to get around turn 4, but being crowded out by Wiltshire, which gives Diamond Dodge opportunity once again to grab those points and keeps on going, pulling into a very clear lead for Wiltshire now.
Diamond Dodge's pace has not really been taken off, and even on that last scoring pass, the entire jam, Diamond Dodge went almost unopposed.
Yeah. I feel like Nottingham were just slightly caught between, do we want to spring our jammer or should we stop the other jammer? And absolutely at that point, it's like, stop the other jammer, stop the bleed from happening. Because that was a massive jam. Looks like an 18-point jam with my old lady eyes, which takes Wiltshire to 53 points and Nottingham sitting at 31. 12 minutes 50 left on the clock, Brom. And a team timeout has been called by Nottingham. And this, I would say, would be a perfect use of a timeout right now.
Absolutely. Just as Wiltshire have started to pull away ever so slightly from them. Yeah. This is a great time.
And so also Nottingham perhaps just really getting the team to refocus on what do we need to do when we're in those situations, what's the best strategy moving forward, which to my mind would absolutely be stopping the opposing jammer. Don't worry too much about your own jammer, just stop the bleed of points.
Yeah, and I think that's also because Nottingham at the moment are getting slightly heavier on the penalties as well. So they've picked up 8 penalties overall so far. Whereas only 3 penalties by Wiltshire, which is actually a very clean start to a game as well.
Yeah. So relining up now, we have number 78, Lindsay for Wiltshire, coming up against 16, Tornado for Nottingham. Lindsay pushes forward first, finds the brace 3 wall up front. All the action happening between jam and pivot line. Nobody really moving forward here, as both jammers just grappling with the blocker contingent to try and grab lead. Tornado looks like she's seen daylight. 1 left to pass up front. That's number 28. Templeman gets on through, and Tornado is lead.
Lindsay, in the meantime, has recycled before the pivot line. And the Greek Frightening taken out in the process as well, as she comes back into the pack to complete that initial pass. But this is a great jam for Tornado. Lindsay yet to get that initial.
Yeah, and Greek Frightening did some beautiful work there, switching from offense to defense. Wasn't able to catch the star as it was passed to Be Brutal. Wasn't able to slow down her, but did support her own jammer getting through that pack on the last pass. This time, jam is called, but 5 points picked up by Nottingham takes the score 36-53 in favour of Wiltshire. 11 minutes 30, Brom, left on the clock of the first half. Don't worry.
I was like, oh wow, that went a lot quicker than I thought.
And your car's probably got another ticket on it.
You probably has. I've got to go and put some money on it in half time.
Okay,
cheers,
7:02. Jessica Stavitt with the star for Wiltshire comes up against number 2. That's Demandra, jamming for the first time off the radar wheels jam line. Has taken the star in star passes, but first time out jamming.
And Demandra looks like she's seen some space. She has. She finds it, picks up lead for Nottingham. Looking to close that differential between the two teams as Jessica Stavitt is taken to the inside once, twice, gets knocked down. Nottingham taking the chance to recycle around her.
The Nottingham really firing themselves up here. 36 plays 53, and it is a power jam as Jessica Stavitt sits in the penalty box due to a cut track penalty. But oh dear, Demandra also off to that penalty box, picking up a penalty of her own.
So Jessica Stavitt there picking up a cut track, while a cut track also assigned to Demandria.
So a jammer switch out from the penalty box. And Nottingham looking to try and speed up the pace of this pack, but Wiltshire not having any of it. 22, Skeletor knocks out a Nottingham player and forces that pack to slow down, which gives opportunity to Jessica Stavitt to break on through and complete that initial.
So 45 seconds left on the jam. Both jammers will be scoring as Jessica Stavitt comes in now on her first scoring pass. Demandria will be on the second scoring pass.
And Jessica Stavitt making it look easy on the inside line there, Brom, to get through and pick up those answering points. Star pass in progress for Nottingham.
And that successful star pass to 1837, puck her up.
But puck her up, being knocked right down, and that's Skeletor once again in that game-changing disruption position for Wiltshire, doing a great job of it. Gives opportunity for Jessica Stavitt to put further points on the board. 10 so far, Nottingham with 6.
Just as Jessica Stavitt was coming in for another scoring pass, the jam reaches its natural conclusion. 63
points now on the board for Wiltshire, 42 for Nottingham.
So just 21 points between the two teams.
It's not huge.
It's really not, and also still a very low point scoring game, considering that we've seen 22 minutes of the first period go by.
I'm just trying to think, we've not got into the 20s with any of the scores so far, I don't believe. Let's see what this jam brings us. We have number 58, Diamond Dodge, back with the star for Wiltshire. And for Nottingham, that's Gem Arg, 0-0-0.
And it's Diamond Dodge that has picked up lead. Gem Arg is recycled to the back of the pack. Comes up to the front. 2 of Wiltshire are ready to receive. You can see the helmet cover has been removed. Pivot is trying to make a play to get close by. But there's been a successful star pass, but a cut track penalty has been assessed on the pivot, and that happened prior to the star pass, so it's been given back now.
So Natastrophe was receiving the star. Gem Arg was the jammer. Catastrophe dropped the helmet cover on the track as she had to leave due to the penalty. Gemma then also picked up a penalty. It looked like a forearms.
Yeah, and actually what we can see right now, as an incredibly busy penalty box, we have 3 of Nottingham sat in the box, 2 blockers and the jammer, as well as a blocker standing as well.
Yeah, so ultra micro pack out on track for Nottingham with just 1 blocker. That's number 42, the Atkins Riot. Now, Riot has done some great stuff in the pack so far during this game. However, just 1 blocker does make things tough.
It does, and when you're in that position as well, you have very little choice as what to do. If you're the likes of Greek Frightening, you might go head to head with the jammer, or you could just decide, I'm just going to skate away from this.
Also, it's really lonely.
It is. It can be really frightening. But now rejoined by teammates, and also a cut track penalty has been given to Lynn Zane. So we're going to see the full 2 minutes of this jam as well.
So Lynn Zane was coming through and I think felt very confident just on this outside edge between turns 3 and 4, but obviously just chipped it off there to pick up that penalty and gives opportunity to Gemma now to grab some points. Completing their initial pass, they're going to come round back into turn 2 where the teams have set up.
Yeah, and then here we're seeing some rush offence from Nottingham. Great Frightening taking on 2 of Wiltshire's blockers at the same time. Skeletor tries to put in the last line of defence, doesn't quite manage it against Gemma.
Blocker of note was definitely the Atkins Riot, who came in and completely neutralised the defences set up by Wiltshire though in that last pass. This time not as successful in providing any offence for the jammer as Greek Frightening with that huge takeout on Wiltshire's jammer picks up a direction of gameplay penalty, but slows down the jammer long enough there for Gemma to be able to reset behind the wall of black from Wiltshire and try and grab a few further points.
Yeah, that slight pause in the of the pack actually allowed everyone to reform, and we've seen a successful star pass on the Nottingham side to number 70, to Catastrophe.
So almost a direct replay of what was trying to happen in that last jam before the penalty troubles hit Nottingham. Catastrophe now is through and has the star, but jam comes to an end.
And just as it does, Skeletor picks up a multi-player block penalty and will start the next jam in the box.
So 8 points picked up by Nottingham in that last period of play, 5 for Wiltshire. Takes the scores 50 for Nottingham, 78 to Wiltshire, 5 minutes left of this first half. 28 point differential ain't no thing, Brom, still, but Nottingham are now going to have to really elevate their play. Yeah,
and they'll be looking to, especially going into half-time, to try and close that as much as they can so they're in a stronger position when they come back refreshed and slightly relaxed after the half-time. In the meantime, on the track, we've seen Jessica Stabbit pick up lead for Wiltshire, while Tornado completes the initial pass and is about a third of the track behind Jessica Stabbit.
Jessica Stabbit coming in hot and heavy, calls off the jam mid-pack. Picks up 3 points. Yes, 3 points along the way there. 81 plays 50, a quick hit it and quit it jam. But great jammer awareness by Jessica Stabbit, understanding the threats posed by Nottingham. So
we're seeing the battle of the 58s now. We're seeing Buckland go skate to skate with Diamond Dodge. Which 58 is going to pick up lead? Well, Diamond Dodge is at the front of the pack.
What a time to be alive, Brom. Diamond Dodge pushing forward, 3 wall, but this is a power jam in favour of Wiltshire's Diamond Dodge. Cut track penalty was assessed to Buckland.
So Diamond Dodge has full control of the pack and the jam with 3.5 minutes of the period remaining. Comes in on the scoring pass, just sails through Nottingham's wall.
Yeah. Well, Nottingham with 1 blocker in the penalty box as well as their jammer. And Wiltshire doing a great job of just stretching out this pack a little bit. Building their bridged wall now as Skeletor draws back Buckland as she comes back into play. And straight into that brace 3 wall. Support coming from 911, crash call to try and spring Buckland free. Meanwhile, Diamond Dodge making hay while the sun shines here. 10-point jam already.
So Buckland finally gets out on the initial pass as Diamond Dodge calls off the 4th lead in a row for Wiltshire.
My goodness. And isn't that reflected in the scoreline there? 14 points picked up in that last period of play. Takes Wiltshire's score to 95. Nottingham sitting on 50.
And we're just going, as we approach the end of the first period, Wiltshire are just starting to creep away.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly.
And I feel like I said, oh, these teams are really evenly matched. This is exactly what we'd expect to see. But now I feel like Wiltshire has just pulled something out of the bag from those hesitant first few jams to this.
And actually, Diamond Dodge has a lot to answer for Wiltshire, having scored 50 of the team's 95 points.
Well, 0-0, La Renegade out for the first time jamming in this game for Wiltshire, and what a sterling debut. 5 points already picked up, and pace and speed aplenty. Takes Wiltshire over the 100 mark, or onto the 100 mark rather, with that performance and an official review called by Nottingham.
So just 1.5 minutes remaining. We will obviously try and bring you the official review details, providing our wonderful friends on the floor send it up to us.
Friends on the lower level. Makes
Sorry,
it sound like we've got people just lying down there, Brom.
I should hasten to we are up right next to where the camera position is, in almost like a crow's nest, overlooking the track.
I prefer it as the Ivory Tower, but that's just my own princess complex I've got going on. Wiltshire roller derby doing some beautiful power posing. Big fan of that in Rainy City, as you may know. Lauren Swaffield with the power posing, and seeing it in these other teams as well, just to re-centre you, really get you going.
I have a funny feeling that official review was being used as a team timeout.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was over in a minute.
Yeah. Think you might be right.
Thanks.
0-0-0, Gem Arg with the start for Nottingham. And 78, it is Lindsayne for Wiltshire. Lindsayne caught up front here. 249, running some interference. That's Serenity Shepherd trying to help spring the jammer free, which works as Wiltshire once again take lead jammer status. Gemag star in hand. Not a pass, just a stash to get through and complete the initial. But
yeah.
Lindsayne back in the driving seat here, Brom, with a scoring pass coming up as Nottingham try and run the pace.
And the pace really has picked up as we come into the third lap of the track.
Well, Lindsayne calls off the jam. Once again, blocker of note out on track was Skeletor for Wiltshire Roller Derby, doing some fantastic work at just breaking up the packs that Nottingham are trying to form, slowing them down when they were trying to run the pack a bit faster to try and stop Lindsayne from grabbing those points. So absolute blocker of note. 2 points picked up by Wiltshire, takes their score to 102. Nottingham at 50.
And Lindsayne would have been quite happy to pick up lead in that last jam, because she's been on track 7 times so far in the first period, but has only got lead twice.
Ah, okay. So just increasing those stats. Well, it's Diamond Dodge with lead for Wiltshire once again. I'm feeling like that's 8 jams in a row that they've picked up lead now.
A consistent 100% lead jam status for Diamond Dodge.
7 jams in the row.
Diamond Dodge gets out on the scoring pass and goes into a power jam as Gemag goes for a sit in the box.
Well, tough game for Gemag right now as Wiltshire's blockers really putting on the dampeners and the pressure to Nottingham's jammers. Diamond Dodge decides to call that jam off with 3 further points. That's an 8-point jam, takes the score to 110. Nottingham sitting at 50 as we go into half-time, Brom.
Yeah, and we were just looking at the penalties. From what I can see, I believe Gemma picked up 2 penalties.
Right.
The second was an insubordination.
Right, okay, well, that's something for us to look at during half-time and come back with some more info for you in just 14 minutes' time. Okay, great. So welcome back. This is the Nottingham Roller Derby versus Wiltshire Roller Derby, 3rd, 4th medal place game. That's right, isn't it, Brom?
Absolutely, in the Tier 3 WFTDA side of British Champs 2018 here in Stoke.
I am the lovely Beatrix, and as you can tell, I'm joined by the gorgeous Brom and the dapper Mimey on production and stats for us. And just before we kick off with this second half, I think it's interesting for us to tell the story of the first half. So Nottingham kind of took the lead fairly early on, but it was a really low scoring first half from what we've seen this weekend in comparison to other games. And we really felt like both these teams were super compatible in terms of the way they did defence. Their jammers seemed to be very similar. We saw this three jammer rotation from both teams. However, around jam number 18, things started to change. And it was number 58, Diamond Dodge for Wiltshire, who got a massive 18-point jam, highest jam of the game so far. And that then pushed momentum into Wiltshire and took them to the scoreline you see today, a 60-point differential. So it's kind of run away with Wiltshire, and Nottingham have been unable to crawl back that zen focus that they need to be able to get through this, and I think that's told in the stats as well, Brom.
It is. I mean, we saw in the first half of the game, Nottingham picked up, only had 6 jams where they didn't get any points.
Yeah.
So they're scoring, but just when they're scoring, it's not enough, and they're giving away too much to Wiltshire. Great example of that is that number 58, Diamond Dodge, who has got lead 5 out of 9 times on the track, has got 56% lead status and has scored 58 of the 110 points.
Amazing.
That you see on there, which is incredible. And she is number 58 as well. I don't know if that's a deliberate choice of points, and has a clean sheet as well under her belt. Whereas on the other side, we see that the highest amount of points picked up for Nottingham is number 000, Jem Arg, who has got 17 of the points, and number 16, who also has 17.
Well, interestingly, we started back at this second half, and it was 58, Diamond Dodge, with that clean sheet, but a clean sheet no longer. Brom, as she did pick up lead, she did not pick up lead jammer as she cut the track on the way to exiting that pack, and it is a power jam switch around in favour of Nottingham. Wiltshire starting this second half on a power jam, but we're seeing that lost as Diamond Dodge sits in the penalty box.
But now Diamond Dodge is standing. Nottingham still haven't got out of the pack yet. Gemma has completed an entire lap of the track. There has been 40 seconds gone, and Diamond Dodge has returned to the track. Gemma looks to pivot, removes the helmet cover, and is currently just held in hand approaching turn 3. A seamless star pass to number 1837.
That's Pucker Up, who took the start earlier in the game as well from Jem Arg. Jem Arg seems to be struggling with the walls that Wiltshire are building. Yeah. And so changing to this default jammer seems to be the best option.
And Jem Arg only has picked up lead once out of the 8 times that she jammed in the first half as well.
So that's bearing out in the stats, our feelings up here in our ivory tower. Well, Pucker Up has made it through and picked up points already for Nottingham. Diamond Dodge answering with points for Wiltshire though.
And Pucker Up with a great leap over the inside of the apex between 3 and 4. Gets through with both jammers now adding to their team's points totals.
We still have that huge mountain for Nottingham to climb coming into this second half. That 60-point differential going in. Pucker Up knocked out, recycled back to pivot line as Diamond Dodge continues on. Jam comes to an end, and it looks like an 8-point apiece jam there. 118 plays 58.
Yeah, no changes to the differential. Pack advantage going into the second jam of the second period will sit with Wiltshire, as they currently have one blocker in that box. That blocker being Gem Arg, who handed off the star in that jam.
Yeah, and I believe that's her third penalty.
No, that's a fifth penalty.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's going to start to raise a few concerns at bench.
Well, I feel like the concerns at bench about penalties full stop should be there, as Nottingham have 22 penalties to their team right now, as opposed to Black's 8. Black, of course, being Wiltshire. Nottingham playing in the green. Right now, it's Buckland coming up against
Lynn Zane.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Lynn Zane is the active lead. The pack has picked up a bit of pace, which calls off approaching turn 4, coming back for a full lap of the track, and that is going to be a cut track penalty that's been given to Lynn Zane, who loses leads with 1 minute 15 left on the jam clock. Yeah,
and you saw that Lynn Zane actually assessed that cut track to field to decide whether or not it was legal. Obviously, the skater that laid down the block was downed, but there were 2 other skaters that, by coming in on that outside edge, she passed. So great opportunity here for Nottingham to get on through this pack and pick up some points and try and bring that differential a little bit closer. And in fact, penalty trouble for Wiltshire now, as Lady T off to the penalty box for forearms. That being said, penalty trouble for Nottingham, as their jammer sits in the penalty box.
We are only in the second jam of the second period, and it just feels like there's a busy penalty box. Both jammers have been once or twice. Teams are losing pack advantage every few seconds at the moment. I think we're going to need to just calm down.
We'll need to take a little breath. Forearms penalty was assessed to Buckland, so obviously sitting in that penalty box, unable to help with that score differential. And 4 points apiece already on the board for both teams. Buckland comes back to play just as Lynn Zane gets a huge hit out, and jam comes to a natural end. With 2 further points in the pocket for Nottingham takes their jam total to 6. Wiltshire on 4. That's 64 plays 1-2-2, Brom.
Yeah, and right at the end, a forearms was assessed on the Atkins riot for Nottingham in green, and also now standing in the box I can see is Skeletor. So even pack advantage as we go into the third jam.
Number 16, Tornado with the star for Nottingham, coming up against 702, Jessica Stabbit. Jessica Stabbit pushing forward, 2-wall up front just past the pivot line. Jessica Stabbit finds the space as Nottingham run out of track and indeed pick up a penalty for that period of play.
Yeah, so Wiltshire's Jessica Stabbit comes in for the scoring pass. Sails through the inside. Nottingham focusing solely on trying to get out their jammer, who is now puck her up, who received the star, gets through on that initial pass.
But look at the sweeping work that Wiltshire are doing here to clear the path for their jammer, Brom. It's beautifully timed and executed, and it's really just helping Jessica Stabbit make those easy passes and pick up those points. 9-point jam total there for Wiltshire, takes their score to 132. Nottingham sat at 64.
Yeah, now Wiltshire have more than doubled Nottingham's score. That's going to be a difficult, not impossible recovery.
Challenging.
But it would be challenging.
Number 2, Damdra on the line for Nottingham. And jamming for Wiltshire, it is number 58, Diamond Dodge. But Nottingham picking up lead this time. And a star pass from Diamond Dodge to 0-0, Lau Renegade.
Lau Renegade yesterday was one of those 3 regular rotational jammers from the line, fielded by Wiltshire. Today, we've not seen Lau Renegade as part of that constant rotation.
Just the once in the first half.
Yeah.
interesting then that Wiltshire definitely seem to have a depth of jammers on their bench to choose from, and that's going to make all the difference if there are penalties at stake or penalties in play later on in this game. But right now, kicking off from the Radar Wheels jammer line, it's Lynn Zane for Wiltshire coming up against Buckland for Nottingham. Buckland at the back of this sweeping braced 3-wall from Wiltshire between jam and pivot line. Up front, just dancing around that pivot line is Lynn Zane. Again, another braced 3-wall, this time from Nottingham, and they are holding strong. They're not giving an inch at all here, Brom.
No, we have barely moved 20 feet at the moment for a considerable amount of time. 35 seconds gone with no lead, and as the words leave my mouth, Buckland picks up lead for Nottingham.
Buckland very patient indeed to remove themselves from that truck and trailer 3-wall that Wiltshire were running so effectively. And Buckland comes in now for a scoring pass, escorted to the outside, escorted inside by 249 Serenity Shepherd, and in fact picks up a cut track penalty. So this is power jam time once again in favour of Wiltshire. And we're just going to check in and find out how many power jams have been in favour of Wiltshire so far in this game.
Yeah, and we've seen both 000 Gemarg and 300 pick up 5 penalties apiece, while number 42 for Wiltshire, and number 42 for Nottingham is on 4 penalties as well.
And I believe we saw a star pass to number 5, Haley, in this jam for Wiltshire. So Haley taking the star the first time out. I don't know if you saw Haley in yesterday's games or whether it's completely fresh jammer leg.
This is very, at least what I've witnessed throughout playoffs, this is the first time I've seen her jam. But Haley gets through now on the 5-point scoring pass. Pack advantage on Wiltshire's side with only moments of the jam left.
Yeah, Buckland was back in play but unable to make any kind of headway, Brom. So 10-point jam. Well, let me just check that before I say it. 12-point jam picked up by Wiltshire. 4 points on the board though for Nottingham. Takes the score 72 to 144. 20 minutes left of this second half.
And the timeout is being called by Wiltshire. Sorry, by Nottingham. My apologies. And I think that would just give them a moment to think about some of their strategy.
Think about stuff.
Think about some stuff. So Greek Frightening's now on 6 penalties as well.
Right, and the thing that is frightening about Greek Frightening being on 6 penalties is she is most definitely a game changer when on track.
Yes.
So she can make things happen. Brilliant at marking the opposing jammer. Like, so good at it. I thought I was watching that ball for a second because that proximity to the jammer is just fabulous, and being able to track through that pack.
That awareness.
Yeah, exactly. But also the skill at switching between offense and defense and supporting her own jammer when needed is outstanding on this track right now. So to lose Greek Frightening at this point in the game would really be, I think, it
would be a real,
yeah,
an icing on the cake for Wiltshire.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Well, it would be the best birthday gift for Wiltshire,
exactly.
right?
And actually now Nottingham have doubled the amount of penalties that Wiltshire have as well.
Right.
And none of Wiltshire's players are sitting on any more than 2 penalties.
Okay.
But they only have 1 clean sheet, which is Templeman, which on the Nottingham side you do have a Fran Solo, Tornado, Pucker Up, all with clean sheets.
Well, Jessica Stabbit doesn't care for clean sheets, but does care for lead jammer statuses and picks it up once again for Wiltshire.
She comes in for that scoring pass as Tornado is still struggling to complete the initial.
Wiltshire with 2 blockers sat in the penalty box, but that doesn't seem to be bothering Jessica Stabbit as the 2 out on track doing that sweeping that Wiltshire are obviously trademarking as their own signature move.
Yeah, she completes the initial pass as Jessica Stabbit comes in for a second scoring pass. Might be looking to get through and call it because Tornado's now on the scoring pass.
But yeah, Jessica Stavitt gets the message from the bench there and calls off the jam, picking up a further 2 points along the way. But Nottingham able to scrape through 3. So a 3-point jam total for Nottingham, 7 for Wiltshire, takes the score 75 to 151. Thinking back to the first half, Brom, Wiltshire very timid in their play. They had a few times where they got lead jammer, didn't get any points on the board and called off the jam, didn't really want to run it long, didn't want to take those chances. And as we said, there was that game-changing moment around jam 18 where things really started to hot up for Wiltshire. But the boldness in the moves that you're seeing from them now, which is clean because we know that from the penalties, is very surprising.
Yeah, and it was in the last 5 or 6 jams of that period where they put 50 points on the board.
Yeah.
They nearly doubled their score in a very short space of time. Diamond Dodge for Wiltshire now is coming in on a scoring pass as lead. Quite quickly, puck her up, completes the initial thanks to a star pass. But as she comes in to score, Jessica Stavitt calls the whole thing off.
Yeah, I think Jem Arg started that jam there, Brom. Sorry.
Yeah, but the star pass was so quick,
yeah.
I didn't even have time to see who was the initial jammer. But here's a matchup we've seen quite a few times this game. That's Lynn Zane and Buckland on the Radar Wheels jam line.
Buckland powering through the pack to pick up lead, gets taken out by number 4, Lady T, at the top of the pack. And although Lynn Zane is not your, is your lead jammer, sneaks through and grabbed that lead, Brom. And in fact, we're seeing Buckland sat in the penalty box. So this is a power jam once again to Wiltshire. And it was a back block penalty assessed, so that Lady T collision resulted in the back block penalty being given to Nottingham's jammer.
And in the meantime, Lynn Zane is just sailing through. And here's a tactic we've seen from Wiltshire 3 or 4 times so far this game. The moment that they get that last scoring pass, deciding rather than run the power jam, let's opt to take the power jam start and ice the opposition's jammer.
It's all about track dominance, and whether you do that through the physicality on the track or through just stopping and impeding the opposing team's jammer from being able to get in a flow. Got to do it any way you can. So 7:02, Jessica Stavitt back on the Radar Wheels jammer line and starting this power jam. As you said, Buckland standing in the penalty box as Jessica Stavitt pushes forward, 2-wall up front, straight into turn 3. Comes up against resistance from number 12. That's Alf, but breaks on through to pick up lead. And Buckland is through the pack, completing the initial just as Lynn Zane comes in on a scoring pass, this time. Picks up the full allocations of the points, checks in with the bench and calls off the jam, Brom.
Wiltshire's awareness of their bench is fantastic. Eyes from jammers are constantly looking to the bench, just seeing when is the precise moment they want them to pull it off.
Yeah, and that's how you succeed and get score lines like this.
Yeah, and then more than double the score now.
Yeah. I wish I had a bench coach. Just in life.
Just in life. Just someone that can tell us how to adult would
just
be
a thought.
lovely.
Okay, number 16, Tornado with the star for Nottingham and with lead jammer for Nottingham. And it is number 58, Diamond Dodge, at the back of this pack for Wiltshire. Diamond Dodge coming into the straightaway, still not completing the initial as Tornado comes in on a scoring pass. Wiltshire set up in turn 3. Going to make that pass pretty difficult. Tornado takes the outside line, calls off the jam. I don't think Wiltshire were able to scrape through any points. I am wrong. They scraped through with 1 point there in answer to Nottingham's 4.
A solitary point. That's probably one of the lowest point scoring jams for Wiltshire.
Yeah, I agree. Apart from those ones right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nottingham on 79, Wiltshire 163. We've got 40, just under 15 minutes left of this second half.
And we're seeing Damdria go skate to skate with Lynn Zane.
Lynn Zane pushing forward, stacked 3-wall up front. And Nottingham looking like they're trying out that fluid 3-wall that served Wiltshire so well. Worked out for them as Nottingham pick up lead.
And D'Andrea has now picked up the lead and is coming in for a scoring pass.
2 blockers from Wiltshire are sitting in that penalty box, Brom, which is definitely impeding progress for Lynn Zane and really helping Nottingham's jammer get on through and pick up those points. 5 on the board as Lynn Zane completes her initial.
The pack pauses on turn 4 as the whole thing gets called off.
So Haley with that knockout forcing the call off from Nottingham. 1 point picked up by them further, which takes it to a 6-point jam. 85 plays 163.
So Nottingham have got 2 consecutive leads so far, and you know this could be a bit of a fight back. Perhaps they have got 4 leads this period of the 11 jams so far.
It'd be interesting to see what tactics they put in place right now to try and bring that differential down. We got number 58, Buckland with the star for Nottingham, but that is Jessica Stabbit, 7:02, lead jammer for Wiltshire.
Jessica Stabbit is about to come in on that scoring pass. Buckland has completed the initial as Jessica Stabbit. A quick look to bench just to confirm, to call it off.
And you're quite right, that bench discipline is certainly working really, really well for them. So 4 points picked up, none for Nottingham, they were denied. 85 plays 167. And we have number 16, Tornado with the star once again for Nottingham, coming up against 58, Diamond Dodge. A Diamond Dodge has scored, oh, never mind, ignore me.
I usually do.
69 points of the total points for Wiltshire so far.
But now we have Tornado at the back of the pack. Quite a disconnected Wiltshire wall is creating some space. There's the space that Tornado needed. She gets through for lead as Diamond Dodge is really having some struggles in amongst quite a dynamic and fluid pack right now. But we've seen a successful star pass. Be Brutal gets out on the initial as Tornado calls it off and banks 4 more.
Yep, Nottingham in the driving seat fully there as they did have that lead. So it takes their score up to 89 and Wiltshire sitting at 167. Number 78, Lynn Zane, lining up on the radar wheels jammer line, joined by number 2 for Nottingham. That is D'Andrea.
You see some. There was a solitary blocker for Nottingham off the line, but it is Wiltshire that picks up lead. Lynn Zane. Initial is completed quite quickly by D'Andrea as well.
And Lynn Zane really rode that outside line, pretty much one-skated Brom to grab that lead. Pack picked up pace massively and Lynn Zane forced to call off the jam.
Yeah, we saw a real chase down of the pack there.
Yeah, Nottingham's jammer really hot on her wheels. So jam comes to an end, 1 point picked up for Wiltshire, no points for Nottingham. Pack
so
resets. Sorry.
So I was just going to say, we've seen Beat Brutal now take the star 3 times in total for Wiltshire. Every time it's led to a smooth initial pass.
Beautiful.
Allowing those quick call-offs and the quick shutdowns of Nottingham.
Well, nothing quick happening here as lots of skaters hit the floor. Jessica Stabbit with the star, Tornado with the star. It is Tornado, nearly 30 seconds into this jam, who's able to pick up lead. Wiltshire with a little bit of a penalty spiral. 2 blockers sat in the box. 1 blocker is going to be skating and waiting out on track to serve her penalty. And whilst Jessica Stabbit does get through, it's all eyes on Tornado, who will be in a point-scoring position.
Yeah, that is Ginge that's currently awaiting to sit down. So going into the next jam, Wiltshire will only have a solitary blocker left on the track.
I feel like I have deja vu.
Didn't this happen? Hang on.
This happened in part 1. So the solitary blocker out on track is number 22 though, Skeletor, who's been doing some standout work for Wiltshire. 1837, pucker up, starting from the radar wheels jam line. We've seen star passes before, 4 in total, but never starting. And what a way to go, making a debut with lead jammer against Diamond Dodge straight away.
Yeah, coming in on Tornado, gets through, picks up lead.
So
sorry, not Tornado.
It's pucker up, who's just coming around the straightaway into turns 3 and 4 and not letting up at all. But thankfully for Wiltshire, their blockers back on track and out of that penalty box can offer up some defences. Jam is called, and actually during that period of play we saw number 22 take the star for Diamond Dodge.
Yeah, Skeletor, who is only on 2 penalties at the moment. That clean sheet now for Wiltshire only sits with Templeman.
So Nottingham hitting that 100 mark, Grom, as Wiltshire sit at 168. So very slowly chipping away at this differential between them. And Wiltshire taking a timeout, which I wholeheartedly agree with and endorse at this point, because they've had quite a run of not getting the leads that they were enjoying in the first half. They're not perhaps putting up those scores that they would want to. And 68 points, okay, there's only 8 minutes 17 left on the clock, so realistically we're not going to see a lead change. We're not going to see an upset here.
No, not if the last but not if the last 52 minutes is anything to go by.
No, if the last 30 years of my life have shown me anything, Brom.
30?
Yeah, sorry, 28. You're absolutely right. Thanks for correcting me.
So we can see as the timeout comes to an end, the full 80 skaters, as 80 wheels are on the track, but I've just noticed
80 skaters,
80
you can't get away with it.
Well, I was saying 80 wheels, but what I was observing there was that Nottingham had fielded a jammer but with no helmet cover. The bench hadn't realised, so she went over to go and collect it, was far too slow, and so we're going to see now captain number 300, Greek Frightening, and is going to get a delay of gameplay, and simultaneously I believe that will mean that Greek Frightening will also foul out of the game, so while going to the box will then be replaced instantly.
It's like a Greek tragedy, this, isn't it?
Oh, I love what you did there.
Anything to get away from the 80 people on the track, Brom. So out of the last 7 jams, 5 of them have been leads for Nottingham. And now obviously we're having this moment where the delay of gameplay, I'm guessing, is the penalty that goes out. And as you say, it's Greek Frightening who'll get that, and then Greek Frightening will need to be replaced. So essentially, I guess Nottingham are going to be starting on a super light micro pack out on track for this jam. We do only have 7 minutes 51 left of this game, and they have that 68-point differential to have a think about. No pressure, Nottingham.
No.
But these are all the factors that are against you right now.
Yeah, and that's just a reminder that you really paint a positive picture for you, don't you?
The voice of positivity in roller derby, and I won't have it said any other way.
So, of course, just a reminder that these 2 teams are playing for the bronze medal in Tier 3 of the WFTDA side of British champs.
So they're playing for metal. It's really important that they give it their absolute all. And these kind of, it's not shenanigans is not the word I want to use, but these kind of, I did, but I said it, so I'll commit to it. These kind of shenanigans where we have to start changing around players and things like that, it breaks up that mental zone that the skaters are in. It breaks up that flow of gameplay, and they're going to have to, reset themselves a little bit.
So I'm just looking back to the track while this all comes to an end, all of the shenanigans.
Down with these kind of shenanigans.
However, what we've observed is that Greek Frightening was not replaced. And that actually we'll have a full complement of skaters on the track.
So everything we just said was subjugation, ignore us.
We talked for 2 minutes and we have no idea what we're saying. However, I can confirm that Greek Frightening has indeed... no, Greek Frightening's... I have no idea what's
I'll
going
tell you something else
Can
that
you
is
just
definitely...
talk about what's happening?
This is definitely happening. Lynn Zane is your lead jammer for Wiltshire. We have Demandra out on track for Nottingham. Demandra caught behind that 3-wall at the back. No pack is called and Lynn Zane chooses to call off the jam. But 2 points picked up by Nottingham. Only 1 point awarded to Wiltshire. So 102 plays 169. And a little bit of penalty issue there for Wiltshire as they have a blocker sitting in the penalty box. That is number 4, Lady T.
So pack advantage will sit with Nottingham as we go into the last 6.5 minutes of the game. And I can confirm, sorry, I was right.
You're not going to let this go.
I can confirm the Greek Frightening did foul out, and I wasn't wrong.
Well, I'll confirm to you, Jessica Stabbit is your lead jammer for Wiltshire. Once again, Wiltshire now bringing themselves up into this driving position. Full hands on the steering wheel and grabbing back those leads. Tornado not that far behind as Jessica Rabbit comes into a scoring position and the call comes out from the bench to call off the jam, which she does. So we have a 0-0 scoreline. And we are resetting here on the radar wheels. Jammer line with 1837. Pucker up for Nottingham. Coming up against number 58, Diamond Dodge for Wiltshire.
Yep, and we have a full complement of skaters on the track, including my incorrectly aforementioned, not fouled out, Greek Frightening.
This really is a Greek tragedy. It's got it all.
Largely my announcing career. As Nottingham picks up lead.
Please don't leave me. Pucker up is your lead, as you say. Diamond Dodge removed the star to get through that pack, and look at this, Pucker up wearing an invisibility cape is the only possible explanation I can feel to give. And she came up that inside line completely unchallenged by the Wiltshire blockers. This is not the Wiltshire blockers that we have seen out. I'm smacking my hand because I am surprised.
She did her finest Harry Potter impression through the middle of the pack.
She did, which fantastic for Pucker up. But what I'm wondering is what's going on the Wiltshire bench right now that they're losing this focus. 63-point differential. We've got 4 minutes 40 left on the clock. 106 for Nottingham, 169 for Wiltshire. It's Lynn Zane with the star for Wiltshire. Demandra for Nottingham. Demandra knocked out and recycled back by number 19. Brutal. All the action, Brom, once again happening between jam and pivot line. As Lynn Zane looks for space, sees daylight past Gemag and picks up lead 30 seconds into this jam.
Yeah, while initial has been completed by Dandria as well, the pack's picking up a little bit of pace as it comes into 3 and 4. Speed taken off as both jammers approach the back of the pack. I can see that Nottingham have picked up 3 points with a solitary point for Wiltshire.
And you know, the call came up from the bench really clearly, but once again I feel like that there was just a little bit in loss of focus from the players from Wiltshire there, not quite calling it off as quick as the bench I'm sure would have liked. Let's see what happens now with 7:02. Jessica Stabbit lines up against number 16 Tornado for Nottingham.
It's nice to see all players back on the track as we go into the last few minutes of the game, and it is Wiltshire's Jessica Stabbit that picks up lead with less than 10 seconds of the jam clock expired.
It is nice to see that, Brom, you're absolutely right. Well, so Pucker up, taking the start. Oh, wait, hang on 1 second here. We are having a star pass. It was Tornado who started on the radar wheels line, and the star pass went to Buckland. However, Jessica Stabbit already out of this pack, 5 points on the board, coming in now for another scoring pass as Buckland just unable to right herself within the pack. Gets support from teammates, which means eyes off the ball, and Jessica Stabbit makes it through for a further 5, Brom.
And we've seen some ground has been got by Buckland, but not quick enough as Wiltshire just reforming around Buckland, not nearly getting through by a knife edge on the inside, and everything for Jessica Stabbit is going her way right now because they are, Nottingham are yet to get initial.
Well, you know, if you're turning 180, skating backwards on the inside line, and you're not having the time of your life, what are you even doing with your Sundays? Because Jessica Stabbit in this 3rd, 4th place medal game really showing the skills that have brought Wiltshire here.
I've just never felt this way before.
Jessica calls off the jam. 4 further points picked up. That's a 19-point jam total, and I feel like that's one of the highest jams. And in fact, it is the highest jam score of this game, which still surprises me, considering that we've seen much higher across the weekend. So it shows that Nottingham, still with that defence, although the points aren't going their way, they're still putting on that defence out on track.
Yeah, there is a clean 70 points between the two teams now as we go into the last 1 minute and 30 seconds of the period clock, and Puck Her Up and Diamond Dodge are the two jammers that are going to pick up the mantle. It is Diamond Dodge that picks up lead, and Puck Her Up is about half a track behind.
So Pack is running fast and hot here. Diamond Dodge happy to just run quick. Everybody slows down between turns 2 and 3. Diamond Dodge finds a space on the inside, but Crashcore with that huge hit out forces the jam off. 1 point apiece picked up for these two teams.
That was a lot of speed and a lot of fast-moving pack for 2 points.
It was. Lynn Zane's going to take the jam star for Wiltshire, coming up against number 2, Damdra for Nottingham. And just to say, really, excuse me, Jessica Stabbit, who's now the highest point scorer for Wiltshire.
77 points she's picked up now.
Which overtook Diamond Dodge's 58, if you remember. Lynn Zane pushing forward into this brace 3 wall up in turn 1. One player from Nottingham having to drop back. And Lynn Zane gets on through. Well, it was an ugly pass, but it was a fresh and clean pass to pick up lead jammer.
Both teams lose 1 blocker apiece to the penalty box. The period clock has expired, but the jam has been called off for injury.
Yeah, Demandra looking like she took a hit there.
Important to say that Damdra is sitting upright and the medics are attending. So we have gone to an official timeout, but the period clock has also expired.
You're going to have to ask an adult, Brom.
I am. I'm looking at you.
Mimey's here.
There we go. So Mimey has given us the information that the officials could choose to go to a final jam because it was not allowed to reach its natural conclusion.
However, I do believe it was a knock to the nose, so there is some blood on the track, which the medics are now going to have to clean up, Brom. So whether that will affect their decision to run one more jam. Yeah, and it is, Mimey just saying in the background there, it is a very clear-cut win for Wiltshire.
It's not like we've gone in and it's 1 point in it.
It isn't.
The officials will refer to that judgment. We haven't had the rolling whistle yet from the jam timer that would signify the end of the game. We are currently being shown unofficial score.
You know what, great time just to say one more big shout out and a thank you to our sponsors, Roller Derby City, Just One Body, Double Threat Skates and Radar, our most valuable player sponsor and sponsor of all the jam lines, as well as a big shout out to our other partners, Capital Badges, Events Medical Services, and Ruby Fury. You can get 10% off your first order with Ruby Fury if you click through to their website via the British Champs website.
How excellent. Thank you very much to them.
So track cleanup is happening, Brom, as you can see just into the top left-hand corner of your screens back home. Wiltshire already in a winner's huddle, and it appears to us that this is in fact going to be the ending of this game,
Yep.
this third, fourth playoff game.
Yep, so the Wiltshire have definitely gone into the bronze medal winners of the game and of the Tier 3 WFTDA side of British Championships 2018 with an official score of 110 points for Nottingham and 190 for Wiltshire.
What a fantastic game that was indeed.
It was, and certainly that turning point in the 18th jam of period 1 is when Wiltshire just started to find their flow and they just started to break away and end up where they did.
I just want to say as well, because I've been ruminating on this throughout the game, is that actually what I put down to timidness at the start for Wiltshire could have actually just been nerves, because this is the bronze medal game, and if you're not going to feel nervous, then when are you going to feel nervous?
Exactly.
So well done them.
And that is also the last game of the Just One body track here at British Championships 2018 in Stoke. So we are, just to give you a little look ahead as to what's going to be happening for the rest of the afternoon. So right now, over on the roller derby city track, the Tier 3 MRDA side final is taking place. Both of those teams are going to be promoted in their divisions, but who is going to come out on top? Currently, I can see it's looking close. So I'm just going to tease you at that to go over. That's currently Bristol versus North Wales. Then we're going to see at 3 p.m. the Tier 3 WFTDA side final game, which will see Hull take on Cambridge, and the final game of the day. Tier 2 WFTDA side final when Rebellion take on Norfolk in a rematch.
Yes, so all exciting things to come. Don't bother doing anything else with your Sunday afternoon, because being here on these streams is where you need to be.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you can also tune into BBC Sport for the rest of the afternoon as well, with all games taking place both here on the Derby Dutch stream and on BBC Sport. Thank you so much to Mimey, our excellent producer, who has been wonderful, making us sound intelligent.
And also to you, Brom, for being here and making me sound coherent.
Thank you, and you did a good attempt at making me sound coherent. Thank you very much to Beatrix. So, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.